Ntema Tapiso, an auto mechanic instructor by profession, and Winnie, who is a former nurse, did not see it coming when they resigned from their day jobs and moved to the Zambezi region to start a vocational training center. What was intended to be a journey toward advancement and fruition turned into a devastating nightmare, and today, homeless activists Ntema Tapiso as well as Winnie Tapiso are here to give us an insight on why the campaigns, or why they both campaign for homeless people. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Tapiso.
Good morning.
All right. Thank you so much for being here this morning. I'd like to start with you, Mr. Tapiso. Please give us an insight on what really inspired the both of you to make this shift in your lives.
Thank you so much for the question. I would first want to thank God for this opportunity. Really, yeah, it was not easy, like you have narrated. We went, we came back, things didn't work out. We're in a guest house. We got evicted for a certain amount. At the end of the day, we, found ourselves in the street. Minutes turned into hours, hours into days, with the clothes only on the clothes that we had on our bodies. Yeah, so we couldn't comprehend really the world that you find yourself in an instant without, you didn't expect it.
No, but what really happened?
I don't know where can I actually start from. Is it from the guest house, or is it the journey to Katima and back to Windhoek?
In my introduction, I mentioned that you both resigned from your jobs to go and start a vocational training center that is in the Zambezi region, and that wasn't as successful as you thought it would be.
Yeah.
What prompted you to resign in your job to start this vocational training center, and why did it not work out?
Yes, we already had burning desires, seeing the need, especially in my area. I'm from Katima. The youth, empowerment. That they needed something. We had that burning desire, me and my wife, and we thought really we had. It's actually our responsibility.
Yeah.
At this region of the country, to actually do something with the skills that we have. We felt we have that we can have that responsibility that we can be able to actually, impart.
Yeah, you saw a gap in the region and you wanted to fill it.
Yes, we wanted to do that.
So what happened then? Why did the vocational training center not succeed?
In the midst of COVID, remember it's 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
So many, uncertainties, and you want to meet the governor, you can't do that because they tell you that you can one-on-one, social distance and stuff like that. Finances, a lot happened. We couldn't.
Oh, this was during the COVID-19 period?
It was during the COVID-19. We couldn't do anything. So at the end of the day, we found ourselves, we are between a hard place in a rock.
Yeah.
We had to come back to Windhoek.
Yeah.
And the way we did, because I used to teach at one of government schools in Windhoek. I wrote a proposal. We invited to do the presentations, which we did. After the presentation, for some reason, things didn't work too.
Yeah.
We found ourselves, we didn't have plan B. We found ourselves in the street because we had a guest house.
Yeah.
It's during that time that things became hard.
Yeah. I want to bring in Winnie here because we'd also like to hear from you. What happened then when you found yourselves being kicked out of a guest house?
Yes. The moment when we were kicked out of the guest house, we actually did not know where else to turn to. So the only option that we actually had was to actually go to the streets.
No. What happened before? Like, what led to you being kicked out of the guest house?
The money that we had, the funds that we had actually depleted, and we could not sustain ourselves in the end. So that is why we were actually kicked out.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't stay anymore in the guest house because we were not having the funds. Yeah, to cater.
Where did you stay after that?
We actually had to go into the streets. Yes. So we spent our first night under a bridge in Vernil Park. It was extremely cold, very cold. So, but however, we managed. Some people from from our friends actually helped us, and we were actually accommodated in a friend's house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where are you at present, Mr. Tapiso?
We are in Damarasiva.
You found accommodation still with your friends?
Friends in Katima.
Okay.
You know, if you read this story under the Namibian page, under my shoe, is it my shoe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was covered. Friends, you know, generous hearts, they donated funds for us, and we managed to liberate our clothes and our documents, and they gave us some funds that we got a place for ourselves. Of course, there are as well people here in Windhoek that, you know, are coming through.
Yeah.
You know, good hearts. You know, as time goes on, we could be able to actually mention names as well.
Yes.
In terms of, you know, the fact that now you both don't have an income, do you see yourselves going back to the work that you were doing? Mr. Tapiso was a teacher, you were a nurse?
Yes, nursing is actually, it will always be part of my life. That is why I actually developed this first sport of helping people.
Yeah.
But however, nursing does not stop in a hospital setting. It's more broader than what we actually think of. That is why we also came up with this initiative to help the less privileged people.
Yeah.
So in so doing, I can actually also render my skills, help other people who are in need psychologically, you know, as an experienced nurse.
Yeah. Let's talk more about this project that you are starting now to assist the homeless people. What is it really all about?
You know, education is a big emancipator, an equalizer. You know, when you are educated, your soul is lit. You know, we believe it's through skills training that you can be able to empower the less privileged.
Yes.
Our fellow Namibians, the youth, you know, quite ambulant, but opportunities end there. So we thought really our part, our role, I'm an auto mechanic instructor, qualified. What do I have to do in my capacity as a Namibian to actually help those that need my help? So it's through skill training. So that's why we came up with this and thought really, you know, we need to empower them. You know, like the saying goes, people say, do not give a man fish, but rather
Teach him how to fish.
Teach him how to fish,
Yeah.
So we are saying, we change the narrative. We say, feed the person. When he's full, you teach him where the food came from. Yeah, so you alternate, you do both. So that is actually what we are spearheading to rather help them, help themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, as you've mentioned, the both of you have been struggling financially.
Yes.
It led to you being evicted from where you were staying.
Yeah.
How will you then ensure that you fund this project of yours?
Yes, we believe humanity hasn't left the earth yet.
Yes.
Yeah, we have, it's my role, it's your role to, you know, help our fellow Namibians. Yes, there are so emotional support, financial support. You know, we have so many. You know, for example, MTC. You know, Europeans, Americans, they help us build good road networks. But then, that very slice of life that we neglect about the fellow human beings who can benefit from road networks. How does he actually? He'll be felt you feel left out.
So you're relying on funding.
So we want to bring all business fraternities,
Okay.
you know, institutions, generous people, hearts, you know, to come together as fellow Namibians, you know, to make a Namibian, I mean, Windhoek a conducive place to be at.
Yes.
Yeah. So we want fellow Namibians, those that have means, really to come in. Let's hold hands and be able to help one another, you know. Yeah.
How can they get in touch with you?
Through our cell phone number, 085 777 8281. Yes. We you know, I don't know whether we have time.
We don't have much time.
We don't have much time. You know, I wanted to say much.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to spiritual.
Yeah.
Really, there's much that we can be able to do, because when we leave this earth, there's a call, there's a person that we need to call to, I mean, to answer to. Yeah. So what did you'll be questioned, what is your role? What did you do for those that were less privileged? Yeah. we know.
And that is the call that you are adhering to.
That is the call that it's a broader, it's bigger than us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we dream, though, you know, lack of resources doesn't mean lack of ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well. Now, as I mentioned that we do not have enough time for our conversations, I think the one question I really want to ask is, what have the both of you learned from this experience? Starting with you, Ms. Tapiso.
Yes, as a young Namibian, I've actually learned that through this experience, I've actually seen that there are so many things that are actually happening to people, so many social ills that we just look by with our eyes and just we don't really take much time to think deeper what actually leads people to go into drug and alcoholism.
Yeah.
But there's much, there are much deeper things than what we see in the outside. So we have actually decided that as young Namibians, it is time that we actually stand up and help our people. It's time that we actually bring change, because if change does not happen within us, how can we be able to talk about the sustainable goals, for example? How can we be able to kick out poverty out of Namibia? It is through the initiatives that we have like this that we can actually kick poverty out of Namibia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Tapiso, your final remarks?
I would like to urge fellow Namibians, you know, recently I read on the Namibian Facebook page where people gave comments. You know, really we need to broaden our minds and enlarge our mindsets, you know, for us to incorporate these type of ideas, these initiatives, so that we can be able to make Namibia a conducive place for us to live in. Yeah, it's through skills training, mostly that politicians, most other government officials they sing about. But then how do you do that? So we are here saying we are creating a platform for you to exercise generosity, for you to exercise what you preach. So we unfortunately time is limited. We would have you know, laid out the whole program, how we want to do it and when we want to do it. We even want to bring ShopRite, Pick and Pay. We are saying we want to create a shelter where we accommodate these people. We feed them, we educate them, so that they become productive citizens of this country. So that we envision that, and we know it's possible, it's doable. Yes.
Have you engaged the Ministry of Gender, perhaps, as the custodian ministry?
Not yet, but we know how hard it is, but we're saying, wait for us, watch for the space. Please do not shut doors for us. We are here for a common goal. We are not here to dethrone anybody. Neither are we going for Congress, but we are here for one common reason, is actually to empower our fellow Namibian, the youth and those that are ambulant and ready to, you know, take up the stand and do the right thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and all the best with your project.
Thank you.
Well, that was Winnie and Ntema Tapiso, and they were here to talk to us about an empowerment project that they have embarked on after a life experience that they went through. We will be back shortly. Stay with us.